Hey, what's up? I'm super hyped to talk about this fresh No Man's Sky patch that just dropped and all the fixes and tweaks it brings to your adventures in the Remnant world. One of the first things that gets fixed here is something that has probably annoyed anyone who spent time with exocraft out in the wild. Before this patch, your vehicles could get stuck on terrain obstacles in ways that felt unfair or frustrating, and that's now been addressed so that your rides feel more reliable when traversing rough planetary surfaces. And while we're talking vehicles, the Colossus exocraft also had some cosmetic hiccups where decals weren't showing up properly, which didn't affect gameplay, but definitely affected immersion. That's been fixed now, so the big beast looks just right. Another funny but strangely impactful fix was the issue where the flap on heirloom armor legs would stick up when you were seated. Yeah, it was a weird little visual bug, but things like that can pull you right out of the moment, so it's great to see it get cleaned up. There was also a performance improvement for scrapyard scrap, where lag could occur in those areas, so now interactions feel smoother and less stuttery when you're hauling and scooping up materials. Speaking of hauling, another issue that's been resolved is where cargo could unexpectedly get dislodged from your Colossus when driving over certain planetary objects. That was genuinely frustrating for anyone trying to transport a big load of materials or loot, but now that's much less likely to happen. On the expedition side of things, the patch also addresses a couple of unintended behaviors. For example, there was a bug that allowed base sharing with players who hadn't completed the Remnant expedition, and that's now corrected. That matters because it helps keep progression integrity in multiplayer experiences and prevents weird edge case situations that could break the intended game flow. There are also new quick menu recovery options for players who find themselves stranded far from the waste processing unit or a space station while on the Remnant expedition, giving you a way to get back into the action without a long trek. Now, let's talk about milestones and UI clarity because that's something that touches many players. Previously, some folks were running into issues with the field guide milestone, things like needing too many skulls to complete it, or confusion about how to register all discoveries for the final step. This patch reduces the skull count required, making it less of a grind, and also clarifies the UI text so you know what you need to do to complete the milestone correctly. There was even a fix for the situation where you could scan all creatures on a planet, and the field guide milestone still wouldn't advance, which was a straight-up block to your progress. Another small but welcome change, other players' save beacon markers no longer show up on expedition planets. That was creating visual clutter and confusion, especially when you're trying to focus on your own journey during those timed activities, so it's nice to have a cleaner HUD. On top of that, the patch includes a recovery fix for waypoints that weren't being discovered correctly on expedition worlds, which means those explorers out there will spend less time troubleshooting and more time exploring. Beyond gameplay and expedition quality of life fixes, there are some important system fixes in here too. For instance, there was a problem with claiming dreadnought freighters in certain situations. That's been fixed, giving you more confidence that your massive fleet conquests will register properly. A super quirky but essential fix is that you can now actually cook jellied eels again, something that previously didn't work and, as some of you joke about, was almost a core survival mechanic in its own right. Settlement building stats, which feed into how your bases are evaluated, have also been corrected so they accurately reflect what's built, and starship engine rotation effects have been tweaked so they behave the way you'd expect visually. Even the rendering of scrubgrass got some love here, with previous rendering issues now fixed to make the flora look more consistent. The patch also covers platform-specific fixes, which is always appreciated given how many different systems No Man's Sky runs on. On the Nintendo Switch, wheel scrap rendering issues have been addressed so your graphics hold up better during scrap collecting missions. PSVR 1 users with rare crashes should see a more stable experience, and PlayStation DualSense trigger effects with the Gravitino coil have been restored, so those feedback sensations are back in action on PS5.